friends, Nothing has finally released the Nothing Phone 3, a new flagship smartphone that costs a hefty 150 euros more than its predecessor at 799 euros for the base version with 12 GB RAM and 256 GB storage. But that's no surprise after the 2 years it took to develop. And when something takes 2 years to develop, I would have expected a real upgrade, a big bang. That definitely didn't happen. Instead, they've done completely different wild things, starting with the design. Nothing was always known for its transparent design and for its phones, the illuminating glyphs on the back. That was the unique selling point, and they've simply removed it. Gone, just deleted from the spec sheet, and instead added a rather questionable rear mini LED display, the Glyph Matrix, and another button on the back to operate this mini display. With this touch-sensitive flat button on the back, you can switch between different gimmicks on the display. And I deliberately say gimmicks because you can check battery status, use a level, play rock, paper, scissors, and spin the bottle. Yes, I had the same reaction. The only truly thing about this display is that you can use it as an extremely pixelated and rather shadowy preview display for taking selfies. But here's the kicker, not from within the camera app. I would have thought you could use the main camera, set it to photo, portrait or video mode, activate the preview on the back and then see if you're in the frame for the shot. But nope, that would be too easy. You have to exit the camera app, then activate the preview via the button and take a photo exclusively by holding down this button. In my opinion, it's a little pointless, so I hope they fix it in a future update. Besides that, you always have to search for this button because of the design, the circle underneath, and the fact that you can't feel it. It's all so tedious and you can't even tell if your finger is hitting the button at all. Woza! So even though the back of the Nothing Phone 3 no longer lights up, I want to emphasize that I still really like this transparent design. They've simultaneously launched their first over-ear headphones with the Phone 3, also in this cool, edgy, transparent design, and they are already my favorite headphones because the ear cups aren't so bulky but nice and flat. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a review of these two. Anyway, I like the black design of both the headphones and the Phone 3 much more than the white version, but the fingerprints on the black back are just from another planet. So I'm actually quite happy with the white version I received. A plus point is that a transparent case is included in the box and it's not too shabby. It's nice and thin, fits perfectly and feels as good as a silicone case can possibly feel. Another new feature is a red square on the back that lights up when you're recording a video, which firstly looks cool and secondly is also helpful when you're filming yourself with the main camera to see if the camera is recording. And now to point out something that made me look like this when I noticed the camera placement. What kind of weird arrangement is this for the cameras on the back? It looks like the developers just tossed them on and said, yeah, okay, that works. Let's leave it like that. But it definitely stands out, that much is certain. And now let's get to the cameras. And this is where the rather modest picture changes from my perspective. There are whopping 4 50-megapixel cameras, namely a main, a periscope telephoto, and an ultra-wide angle camera. And even the front camera has an impressive 50 megapixel. Not even Samsung's flagship has such equipment. And I can only say the camera is really good. Whether photos, portrait shots or macro shots, I find the results really good. You can see for a microsecond that the images are enhanced with AI afterward, but no front here, it's completely fine with me as long as the results look natural, and they do. One point that annoys me a bit as a content creator is that you can only take photos in 9:16 or 16:9 format with 12 megapixel. If you switch to the 50 megapixel that you actually want, the photo is taken in 4:3 format. I don't get it because I always want to be able to use the 50 megapixel. This might also be a bug that will hopefully be fixed. There's a 60 time zoom, and from 30 time upward, AI super zoom kicks in, similar to what we know from Honor's AI zoom. The AI then saves the day. What has honestly impressed me are the video recordings. They can be recorded with a main camera in 4K 60 fps and with a front camera in 4K 30 fps. And the recordings with both cameras are super smooth, beautifully sharp, and have a nice natural background blur, just as you'd want for your video recordings. So now let's turn the little gem around, and we are greeted with a really beautiful 6.67-inch display with nice modern thin display edges, although not with the very best display glass, but still with extremely high resolution 120 Hz and strong 4500 nits display brightness. Beneath the display, positioned quite deep, is the optical fingerprint scanner, which works quite accurately but not 100% all the time. Besides the hardware design, I've always liked Nothing's software design from the beginning. Nothing OS 3.5 is based on Android 15 and is essentially stock Android with the ability to set the design completely Nothing-like, which is truly unique with cool widgets, and all icons can be displayed completely in this design. You have to get used to it because the apps lose their colors, but I just find it cool. But you can also set the apps to be colorful, then you have the typical Android look. Regarding AI, you have all Google AI functions with Gemini and Circle to Search, but Nothing is also working on its own AI model, which is currently limited to the essential space. We already had this one on the Phone 3a and 3a Pro, and not much has changed here. The Phone 3 has the additional essential key on the side, which you can use to take a screenshot or make an audio recording or access this essential space, which is nothing more than a clipboard where you store recordings and can make notes about them. Based on what's stored there, AI information is displayed at the top. For example, I have a screenshot of a boarding pass in here, and the AI tells me that flight preparations might be coming up. Okay, that's a very vague statement and the information content is rather limited, but I think I can guess where Nothing is going with this. That you can store all information in one place and the AI helps you summarize this information and keep track. Another example is you can start a voice recording for which you have to place the device face down on the table for whatever reason or hold down the essential key. Both super cumbersome. The voice recording is then analyzed by the AI. It says you have 100 minutes of free analysis and I don't know what happens after that. Presumably you have to subscribe, which would of course be rather inconvenient. The AI then takes the information from the voice message and creates an overview of pending tasks, which is admittedly quite practical. But for something that's supposed to help you keep track, the essential space is designed rather confusingly. Though you do automatically get important information displayed, at least what the AI considers important. And with this essential space, it's like everything currently related to AI. You have to get used to it and learn to integrate it into your daily life for it to become useful. All a nice idea, but since the essential key is located where the power button is on all other Android smartphones, I've already accidentally saved countless screenshots in this essential space. Humans are creatures of habit. It's nice that the Nothing Phone 3, as a self-proclaimed flagship smartphone, has a strong 5150 mAh battery and can be charged quite quickly with 65 watts from 0 to 50% in just 20 minutes. For comparison, Samsung only offers 25 watts here. Wirelessly, the Phone 3 can charge at 50 watts and it supports reverse wireless charging, so you can charge other devices with it. It's also nice that it has an IP68 certification, which is standard for the upper class and brings Wi-Fi 7. With 5 years of OS and 7 years of security updates, Nothing doesn't offer as much update guarantee as Samsung and Google, but from my perspective, a lot of water will flow under the bridge before Android 20. And the question is, with the rapid AI development, whether the phone 3 will still be able to keep up in 5 years, as it only comes with a Snapdragon 8S Gen 4 processor, not the Snapdragon 8 Elite like its competitors in the same price range. That's unfortunately no longer flagship level, even though it runs exclusively smoothly in everyday use with everything I do. So you don't need to worry about basic performance, but how long the processor can keep up is the question. The Nothing Phone 3 is truly flagship in terms of design and workmanship, battery and especially the camera, but not in terms of processor, display glass and update guarantee. But you definitely get a lot of buttons to click here that you need to get used to. The Phone 3 is, as we are used to from Nothing, a cool and edgy smartphone that stands out from the crowd, but you need to be aware that you're not buying a flagship here, no matter how often Nothing uses that word. €799 for the base version is unfortunately way too expensive. If it soon reaches around €500, you'll have a really great smartphone from a manufacturer from whom we can certainly expect much more in the future. With that in mind, friends, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye and see you next time. Mwah.